Hey there, ghouls and my sci-fi lovers. I am Kayla, the host of Cafe Crashdown, where we dive deep into the creepiest horror and most thrilling sci-fi flicks. If you're a fan of nerve-shredding horror, I've got something special for you today. We're diving deep into Alien Romulus, the latest addition to the legendary Alien franchise. And let me tell you about this one. It's a full-blown horror flick that takes us right back to the franchise's roots. Cold, greasy, utterly terrifying. So buckle up, this movie is one wild ride. First off, let's talk about who's behind the madness of Alien Romulus. This film is directed by Fede Alvarez. I never say names correctly on this channel, but yes, the same weirdo who brought us the Evil Dead remake, Don't Breathe. Now, if those films gave you nightmares, you're definitely in for a treat with this one with Alien Romulus. Alvarez has this incredible knack for creating tension that's so thick it could literally cut with a knife. And his style is brutal, visceral, and he doesn't shy away from the gore. And honestly, that's exactly what the Alien franchise needed. What I loved about the Evil Dead remake is how Alvarez made the horror feel real, like I'm never gonna sleep again kind of a thing. And he brings that same nerve-shredding energy to Alien Romulus. The Xenomorphs, love them, are terrifying again. It's like Alvarez reached back into the fear that the original Alien movie tapped into and cranked it up to like freaking 11. I found myself watching some scenes from behind my hand. Yes, it's that intense. But it's not just about the scares. Alvarez brings in his dark, deeply unsettling atmosphere that suits the franchise's core message. The real villain here isn't just the perfect organism, it's the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, the cold, calculating machine that exploits human suffering for profit. This critique on capitalism is as relevant now as it was when Ridley Scott first introduced us to the Alien universe back in 1979. Alvarez just gives it a fresh coat of bloody terrifying paint. Now, let's talk about that cast, all right? The ensemble in Alien Romulus is absolutely phenomenal. Cailee Spaeny leads the charge as Rain, an indentured worker on Weyland-Yutani's colony. She's tough, resourceful, and let's be real, a bit of a throwback to Ripley. It's true, but you know, hey, we love Ripley, so okay. But while Spaony's performance is solid, the real show stealer here is David Johnson as Andy, Rain's synthetic brother. Andy is such an interesting character. He's not like any other android that we have seen in the Alien series. He's programmed to take care of Rain, and he does it in the most endearing way possible through cheesy dad jokes. We love that. There's something about an android cracking lame jokes in the middle of a horror movie that, you know, hey, it just works. It brings this unexpected warmth to the film, otherwise is drenched in dread. But don't be fooled, okay? Johnson's performance has layers, and as the movie progresses, we see a much darker side to Andy. And you know, since we're speaking of dread, let's talk about the monsters and the sound design. Oh my god, the sound team deserves a freaking award. The screeches, the fleshy skittering, the roars, they're so well done that they get under your skin and stay there. The score behind Benjamin Wallfisch, pure nostalgia, yet fresh enough to keep your heart racing. You don't just watch Alien Romulus, you get absorbed into it. The sound design pulls you in, making you feel like you are part of the crew trapped in the nightmare in space. Let me tell you, watching this in the theater was a whole experience. Roar with the jet engines, the hiss of acid, blood cutting through metal, the eerie silence before a xenomorph strikes, every sound hit like a punch to the gut. It's rare to find a horror film that is so immersive, where the sound isn't just background noise, but an essential part of the terror. I felt every moment of this movie, and it left me rattled in the best possible way. And one of the things that really works in Alien Romulus is the character work. Alvarez and his co-writer, Rodo, I cannot say his name properly, I'm so sorry, say again, clearly have a soft spot for impulsive, criminally inclined youth. Like the crew in Don't Breathe, Rain and her crew are a motley bunch with simple ambitions and very human impulses. They're blue-collar workers, not trained soldiers, which makes them all the more relatable. When the horror hits, you feel it because these are just regular people caught in the nightmare. So this setup really harkens back to the original Alien crew. They were just truckers in space trying to make a living when all hell breaks loose. The same goes for Rain's crew. They're not prepared for what's coming, and that makes the stakes feel so much higher. The first act of the movie really takes its time to let us get to know these characters, and that pays off when the terror starts. We care about them, and that makes their pain all the more real. And when the terror starts, it really starts. Alvarez uses the Xenomorph sparingly at first, letting the tension build. We know that they're coming, but the wait is excruciating. And when they finally do appear, it is pure, unadulterated horror. The practical effects, they were amazing. I was so excited to see the use of practical effects in this film. They did amazing. The Xenomorphs look as terrifying as ever, and there's something so satisfying about seeing these creatures brought to life with such care and attention to detail. But as much as I really enjoyed this movie, I have to admit the climax didn't hit as hard as I wanted. The ending felt a bit too familiar, leaning heavily on fan service and not really in the best way. Don't get me wrong, callbacks can be great, but Alien Romulus sometimes, it just feels like they're trying too hard to remind us of the movies that came before it. Some scenes were like a greatest hits montage from previous Alien movies, which kind of took away from the fresh, terrifying experience the first half set up. There are moments where the film almost stumbles over its own references. Like, there's this one line that feels so forced, it actually got some laughs in the theater. And the final act, it's a bit predictable. I found myself thinking, okay, I've seen this before, and that's a shame because the first half of Alien Romulus was so strong, so unique in its own right. It's like the movie builds this incredible tension only to just lose a bit of steam at the finish line. But even with its flaws, Alien Romulus is a deliciously intense ride that brings horror back to Alien in such a big way. Sure, it stumbles a bit at the end, but it's still a must-see for fans who want that feel of like the classic Alien dread again. And there's enough new here, especially with characters like Andy, to keep things interesting. Plus, it's Alvarez, okay? The man knows how to craft horror that sticks with you long after the credits roll. Alien Romulus is a wild ride of terrifying intensity and stellar visuals, but it does stumble a bit with the final act. It's definitely a must-watch for fans of the franchise, especially if you love a good scare in the theater. Now, before we wrap up, I have something super exciting to share with you all, okay? Check out my new Undead Trekker hat! I'm seriously obsessed with it, and I just have to show it off. Like, how cool is this hat? It's perfect. It's the perfect for adding a touch of spooky flair to any outfit. If you're as excited as I am about rocking some cool new merch, head over to cafecrashdown.com and snag one for yourself. Trust me, you'll want to get in on this fun zombie feel, okay? So you know the drill. If you like this video and my review on Alien Romulus, I would absolutely love it if you could give me a like. And hey, if you're totally into some alien goodness, sci-fi thrills, and horror chills, you're definitely gonna love my channel. Be sure to subscribe to Cafe Crashdown and ring that bell so you don't miss my next video. I really hope you enjoy yourself when you watch Alien Romulus. And you know what? I will see you in the next video, so stay spooky, everyone.